Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and welcome you to my weekly reading for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd. Well, this week really starts off with that beautiful, gentle full moon energy. We have the full worm moon rising on Sunday, and of course, we have the ability to connect into this amazing energy until about Wednesday, the middle of the week. This amazing, nurturing, and foundational energy is going to support us in many, many ways. Last week, I brought out a video covering all that the full moon is going to offer you. I'll leave a card above to that video if you haven't seen that reading. I would highly encourage you to open it up and watch it after this video because they're going to intertwine and support you so much this week. And then at the end of the week, of course, we're going to hop into the Easter long weekend. Now, in this reading, and actually in any of my readings, you're not going to see a lot of involvement or mention of Easter. There's too much trauma in this lifetime and in past lifetimes for us to really connect into what occurred over the Easter long weekend. As well, the Easter long weekend is symbolic of different events that kind of occurred that really didn't occur in the way that the Bible says. So I don't want to touch on that. Will that energy impact your reading? Very possibly, because many of us do have a long weekend full of usually family and a lot of chocolate. So depending on you, that might be a good thing. And depending on our situation, I know for us, we're still in a lot of restrictions. So that is going to impact what comes out in this week. So in this reading, what I will be covering, how we can use the energies and opportunities of this week to our advantage. I will touch on some of the challenges because challenges, when they're known, they're so much easier to overcome. So I think it was a little bit of defiance in me. The decks I chose was the Witch's Tarot and then a Compendium of Witch's Oracle. I topped them all off with the Sovereign Oracle. Now when I choose my decks, I go up into my little corner of decks and I go, oh, I want this one, and oh, this one looks great. And I thought the two of them were really kind of a cool combination. And then I came down to see, okay, well, what's happening this week? And I looked at it going, oh, it's Easter. And then I had a good giggle to myself. Because the one thing I always hate about Easter, I never know when the damn thing is going to be. It changes every year. So I had a good giggle and I wanted to keep it because, well, it kind of plays onto that trauma a bit. Now, like always, if you are interested in these decks or if they resonate with you in any way, I do have them listed below so you can go check them out for yourselves. The selections, my friends, I did go with that raw crystal. Not too sure why, but it really did speak to me and I thought it would go well. We have some Selenite, some rose quartz, and some Healerite. I want you to choose whichever crystal resonates with you right now. It may not be your favorite crystal, but it's the one your eye keeps going back to. And then head into the description box below. There you're going to find the timestamps. Click on the crystal's correlating timestamp. Of course, it's going to take you straight to your reading. And I'm going to see you there, my friends. Hello and welcome, my Selenite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the Oracle cards here and the Tarot deck, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Selenite friends. What can my Selenite friends expect from the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? Oh, how fantastic. Thaw. Well, spring is here, my friends. Yeah. So that's the reading. Yeah, I'm better than Groundhog Day. So this week, we're going to see things start to emerge. We always plant seeds as we go along. Well, some of them are starting to emerge now, especially with the full warm moon. That foundational piece. We're clearing things away, releasing what's not working, and starting to see what will. We have that opportunity to embrace these emerging aspects so that we can nurture them for our greater good, supporting us in our journey. So this week does encourage us to focus in and spend time with self, to see what amazing aspects are coming forward. And what's more, how you're going to be able to use them. Because as we're connecting in with self, as we're nurturing self, those aha moments, they're going to come forward too. So we know that there's emerging aspects. Let's get some more insight into this. What should my Selenite friends focus in on this week? Oh, and yes, please. Spirit, connect to your highest good. Remember that you're an eternal being in a physical body. Call on your otherworldly supports. Everything you truly need is at your disposal. That high vibrational support team is going to be essential. We need that added support, that added guidance. We're not supposed to do this journey alone. We were never meant to. We were meant to have the support of our team. And our team is very, diverse and eclectic. However, the one goal that they all have and all bear is that they are here to support us in whatever manner they can. Of course, there's a couple things that do hold them back. One is the law of free will. We have to ask for their help. Reach out for it. Then be open to it. And another part we have is that, many of us are avoiding, missing, and not paying any attention to the messages that are hidden in plain sight. Now, don't worry, they don't take offense to it. They know that there are many expectations and demands that we're dealing with. This week would be a fantastic time to connect in and work with that team. Work with that spiritual support team. Now, I do have a support. Actually, I have 3 supports that can help you out with this. Back in October, I did a series of 3 meditations where you reconnect in with your high vibrational support team. These meditations are a fantastic way to reconnect with a group that has been with you for some time. And part of that group is your guardian angel or guardian angels, depending on you. And they've been with you since conception. So these meditations are a fantastic opportunity for you to connect in and work with that amazing team. Now, if you're new to my channel and aren't too sure about what I'm talking about, what meditations, I have 2 meditative playlists. One is Healing with the Archangels, and the second is Just You and Me. And that's where you're going to find this series of 3 meditations. And I encourage people to connect in and work with the first one, as it is a set of 3. So, back to my meditations. Now, my Just You and Me meditations, well, they're just you and me, where we connect in and work on a skill or a tool that will support you. Now, all my meditations are about 30 minutes long. They're a guided meditation, and most importantly, they're free for you to visit and revisit as you need. These tools, they're an important part of helping us overcome some of these obstacles that we're dealing with. So you can visit as you need and reuse these videos as you need to connect in with that support team. All right, so we know there's emerging aspects. We know our team is there. Let's look at this week a little bit more in depth. We're going to start off on the beginning of the week. What can my Selenite friends expect from the beginning of the week? Sassy. The 3 of Pentacles. Now, I like to call this card the Triforce Perfecta. It's a cooperation card. You're working with self, your physical support team, and then that spiritual support team. Reaffirming that need for cooperation and support. Like I said, we were not meant to do this journey alone. And when we're working in collaboration with others, whether it be physical or spiritual, we're going to get a lot more done. We're going to have that fulfillment. And we're going to be rewarded with the abundance of not only reaping what work we've done, that reward. However, we're also going to have that deep, meaningful connection with both the physical and the spiritual support team we have. Those connections, that in itself is another form of abundance. We're social beings at the core. And that connection is so important. So, beginning of the week, we're starting off with a bang. We're connecting in and we're starting to get that job done. We're starting to work on self, and we're starting to reestablish that foundation. Reinforce that foundation. So, and this is all, of course, under that amazing full worm moon, which, like I said earlier in the introduction, it's about that foundation. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to finish this video and then go back and watch the full worm moon readings that I did last week. They'll support you in connecting in with this amazing energy that we're going to be working with. So let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my Selenite friends expect from the middle of the week? The World, the 21st card in the Major Arcana. It's an ending and a beginning card. Now, anytime you have a full moon energy, you can engage and embrace this energy 2 days before, the day of, and 2 days after. So that kind of end cascade of the full moon energy, that divine feminine energy, is going to support you in embracing that next chapter. The end of the week brings that new opportunity, that shift that we're needing. Anytime you have the World, it talks about that pause, that connection of celebration of all that we've overcome and achieved, rejuvenating and invigorating us, and then having that anticipation and excitement for what's to come. So the middle of the week, we are looking at that bit of a shift in energy where we have that moment of pause and awe, like, wow, I really have been working hard. There's been a lot I've overcome. taking that deep breath and getting ready for some amazing new possibility and opportunity. Really strengthening and rejuvenating you. The full warm moon and that divine feminine will help you rejuvenate and strengthen you. Taking time in the middle and beginning of the week for some meditation, for some connection, will support you in gaining that direction. As humans, we kind of like to know where it is we're going and what's happening. Surprise and change are not two words that we really resonate with, not well. So, that understanding and that connection will help us to, understand where the end of the week is going to bring us and what the weeks to come is going to bring us. So let's go on to the end of the week. What can my Selenite friends expect from the end of the week? Now, I liken the world, and the world itself always does have these 4 kind of directions or beings. Really reaffirms that need for support, that connection. We're not supposed to do this alone. I know a lot of times we feel like we should be doing this alone. This is ours. We need to take ownership. Sure, we do. We need to be accountable for us. But that doesn't mean we have to do everything alone. The Page of Cups. I love this page. It always cracks me up. And I really, really enjoy the different cards and decks that connect in and keep that fish in a cup. Pamela Coleman Smith drew the original one with this very flamboyantly dressed page holding this cup with a fish in it. It makes me all sorts of happy. The end of the week, it talks about flexibility. It talks about creativity and fun. Additionally, it does talk about that intuitive energy because we are looking at that cup. So the end of the week, we do need to have some flexibility because like I said, change, it's not something we like. Different, we get a little bit anxious about it. The end of the week, we know that Easter, this long weekend, it's going to be different. It's not our typical Easter. Last year at this time, we were so caught up in what was initially starting out and exploding all over the world. Well, we still don't have what we consider that norm. Being flexible with what it is that's happening and how this weekend is going to transpire, and being creative, using our skills, our supports to our advantage to create a meaningful and fulfilling experience for you and for those around you. Additionally, the page is encouraging you to enjoy and have some fun. Have some playtime. This is not all about just work, 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 work. We'll burn out. We'll miss out. So, yes, the end of the week, we are getting into that Easter weekend. Enjoying that time and letting your inner child out. Having some fun and going to collect some eggs. It doesn't have to be caught up and all wrapped up in the Catholic Christian belief system. We can go with the more fun, traditional, the crazy bunny that breaks in and leaves chocolate eggs. Why not? Okay, so getting ahead of myself. This week offers you some amazing opportunity for some shift and some growth. Let's look at the challenge, because if the weeks were this easy, well, we would be ahead of ourselves by leaps and bounds. What challenge? Whoa! Challenge is coming forward. That's important. What challenge will my Selenite friends face for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? the King of Swords. Oh, we have a tyrant on our hands. Our ego is not going to be happy with, well, change, connection, fun. No. We need to be stagnant and stuck. We do not need to be engaging in these emerging skills, abilities, and possibilities. The King of Swords is going to challenge you. You're going to overthink things, and you're going to talk yourself out of a lot of amazing opportunity and possibility. It's amazing how we can disarm and disable ourselves in leaps and bounds. It's kind of this weird and unhelpful superhero power. We need to be very mindful of that negative self-talk and kind of combat it a bit. So when we start to get into that negativity, we need to start to shift that internal perspective. We need to start to shift it into something that's high vibrational, shutting it down as it starts. Because you're only causing more heartache and pain for you the more you allow this tyrant to scream. Now, one of the ways I can support you in starting to rebalance thoughts of self and beliefs of self is through a meditation that I did with Archangel Raguel. And that's exactly what we looked at. Starting to balance out those thoughts and beliefs of self, heal some of that negativity, that low vibrational uncertainty, pain, and heartache, allowing to strengthen and rejuvenate you. We need to start to take control of that negative and influential self-talk, those feelings and thoughts of self, and start to shift them to a more positive outlook. Start to work on that self-love, which I know is very cliche. I won't lie. However, so important. The more we understand us and all our abilities, the more we're going to be able to shift what isn't working into something that will, and we'll be able to connect in to those beings that we so desperately want to, because we start to shift perspectives and shift energies. So I do have meditations. I think I've got 3 of them now with Archangel Chamuel, and all of them are focused in on that self-love. These are fantastic meditations that will help you strengthen and connect in with you. Now, if you haven't done any work with Archangel Chamuel, please start with the first one. It helps to really lay that foundation and connect into his amazing, gentle, loving energy. All right. We've got all these amazing supports that I keep bringing up, different tools, different high vibrational beings. Let's look at what else can support you this week. What abundances can my Selenite friends embrace for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? Offering. Such an important card. There is a lot of, information, support, guidance that's being offered to us, whether it be in the physical realm and the spiritual realm. It's up to us to be open to it. If we close ourselves off to that support, we're not going to thrive. We're not going to evolve. We're not going to see the growth that we're hoping for. Some of that insight and support may be contrary to what we're currently believing, doing, experiencing. And that's okay. That discrepancy, that's what we need to look at. What is being said and shared versus what is being done. What is in your best interest? What is high vibrational? That is for you to determine your best course of action. However, when you ask for help, we need to be open to it. We need to be open to however that help, support, and guidance comes forward. Now, whether or not we take it is another aspect. Many times, especially with our physical support team, we gain guidance and support that isn't so helpful. We don't have to, eat the seeds. We can just take it and see it and go, oh, that's an interesting perspective. Okay, thanks for sharing. You don't have to do anything with it. However, if you keep getting the same message over and over again, we need to be looking at that message. Why does it keep coming up? What patterns do we need to break? What belief systems do we need to shift to see that growth occur? We see those new emerging pieces come forward. We're looking at experiencing and learning in this lifetime. If we're not open to it, we're going to miss out. We're going to repeat the same patterns until we understand it. Mirror. Such a powerful card. Mirrors in themselves are just little hand tools, right? We can look at ourselves. It's like, ooh, pretty, reflection. However, the symbolic message of a mirror is reflection. Well, actually, it's the physical meaning of a mirror too, but that reflection is important. It goes back to that negative self-talk. How we're treating ourselves is how others will treat us. They mirror that energy, that perspective. It's an unconscious mirroring. Is mirroring a word? Anyway, mirroring, it is now. I've said it 3 times. They mirror it back to us. We need to be conscious of how we're treating ourselves because we're showing people how they need to treat us. And we don't like it when people don't treat us well. We take it personally. It hurts. So we need to be mindful of how we're treating ourselves. We're adding more hurt, more pain, and more heartache to our already overburdened and taxed self. So that mirror is an essential tool. Just watch how people treat you. Because when you're having a bad day, how do people usually treat you? Badly, right? When nothing's going right, they're not going to go, oh, that sucks. I'm going to treat you really well. However, when you're having a great day and things are going well, and how do they treat you? They treat you with respect. They think that you're fantastic. They mirror it back to you. It's an amazing phenomenon. All right, so we will end off this reading with any further insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my Selenite friends for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd. Sometimes the cards get really, really excited. I do ask that they keep the cards on the table. Just in case we didn't talk about it or we missed it, the High Priestess. The second card in the Major Arcana. She is the most intuitive card in the deck. That connection, that intuition, it's going to be important. And I know intuition can be really challenging because it's a skill that many of us have shut down. Taking some time, especially at the beginning of the week. The High Priestess is very much connected into that lunar energy, and we can use that to our advantage, helping with that connection. Not only will those meditations on connecting in with our high vibrational support team help you with that intuitional connection, I have another meditation that I did with Archangel Raziel, where that's exactly what we looked at, is that intuitional connection, helping to strengthen it and minimize some of the barriers that we have in using it. A fantastic meditation to participate in, especially as we have that full moon energy. That guidance that support, it's really helpful right now. We need it. We feel like we've been wandering aimlessly, lost. Well, this information, this connection will support us in finding our path, finding our way forward. The Page of Pentacles. Really reaffirming that need for play and fun, but also adding in that inquisical and grounded energy. We need that exploration. We need that wonder. When you approach things from that of a mindset of a child, you have excitement, enthusiasm. You're intrigued about everything. And we need that. It's going to help us to see these emerging aspects and truly engage with what's coming next. Additionally, as we're talking about all this high vibrational spiritual work, the Page of Pentacles is reminding us of the need to maintain our grounded energy. We need that foundation. The more stable we are, the more open we are to that support, that guidance. Now, on both playlists, I have a number of grounding meditations. You can partake in one of those, especially before you're looking at connecting in or, well, even going about your day, because we are looking at a lot of spiritual influence here. Then you can use crystals to support you in maintaining that grounded energy throughout your day. Now, the crystals that will support you with this are ones that are connected to your root chakra. So, ones that are red or black. Things like tiger iron or black obsidian. Fantastic choices to connect into that grounded, stable energy to help you really engage with what's being offered this week. Now, of course, we do have the double pages here. And pages are the 11th card in the minor arcana. And when you have that multiple 11, the angels are telling you that you need to listen to your deeper intuitional self for that guidance and support. Sometimes the messages are really reaffirmed, helping to see that, you know what, patterns are hidden in every day, in plain sight. We just need to be observant and pay attention. Again, we've got the intuition. The Queen of Cups. She's the second most intuitive card in the deck, next to the High Priestess. Whereas the High Priestess is a major arcana, so you're looking at that archetype, that major energy. The Queen of Cups is our everyday persona. We need to bring this intuitive energy into our everyday. Which sounds like a lot, I know, but not so much. The way that we can do this, the easiest, is through creativity. The Queen of Cups is also an extremely creative card. Using your creativity helps you to tap into your intuition. You're not caught up in your head. Those fears, those heartaches, those challenges, you're focused in on your creativity. You're focused in on those life-giving endeavors, those fun aspects of life. That opens you up to amazing insight and aha moments. So when in doubt, turn back to your creativity. And creativity does not mean arts and crafts, guys. Creativity is any way that you can express yourself in a meaningful way. No matter what that looks like, because creativity is very individual. And this is an individual aspect. So, giving yourself time to engage in that activity. That activity should be high vibrational. It should support you. And when you engage in it, you feel fantastic. It's fun and time flies. It doesn't harm anyone. It just supports you and that connection, that understanding. taking time this week for you. I know it sounds like a lot because there's so much going on, but even a little bit here and there will go a long way in being open to all this amazing support, guidance, and possibility. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is offering my selenite friends. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps me be found on the sea of YouTube, which supports us collectively, starting to raise our vibration and getting ourselves unstuck. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more coming your way, and you don't want to miss any of it. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, healing, and education is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And also, if you did enjoy this video and want to support me in making more, I do have a Patreon page. I have provided a link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my selenite friends. Hello and welcome, my rose quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week has in store for my rose quartz friends. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? Cauldron. Such a fantastic card. I know it's kind of a weird card to get, but there's a lot of meaning. Cauldrons were the old school pots that women and, yes, quote unquote, witches used to create. And that's what this week is about. Starting to create aspects and pieces that are going to be meaningful for you. It's going to take some time because just like the contents of a cauldron, it's got to take that time to, well, stew and brew. We're going to be planting some seeds and getting different aspects into motion. We're starting that ball to start to move in our favor. What we do this week will support us, not only here and now, but in the months and years to come. Anytime we start to really dedicate ourselves to what we're supposed to be doing, what brings us that joy and fulfillment, the universe, well, it rewards us for our hard work. That's how it's going to help us out in the here and now. And that contents of what we're going to be brewing will support us in the long run. This week does give us many opportunities to plant some emerging aspects, well, enjoying and reaping the rewards of our hard work. Let's get a little bit more clarity here. What should my rose quartz friends focus in on right now? No, that's too close. Put that over there. How interesting. I love this deck. It gives us new perspective and kind of a bit of a clarity. Catharsis. Feel your feelings before you try to move forward. The solution may be emotional rather than logical. A messy solution may be an important healing in disguise. So cool. And really does connect into that cauldron. Now, many people, when they're trying to brew or create, follow a very strict recipe or guideline. And they miss out on that heart. We need that connection. We need to have that feeling. We just don't want to do for do's sake. We don't want to just try and work, quote unquote work, just to say, yeah, I worked on myself this week. I feel better. No, we want to feel it. It's not about enunciating or trying to get praise. This is about that connection, that feeling. Because when we have that connection, we are going to heal, no matter what that looks like. It may not be pretty on the inside, but it is meaningful and important and valid for you. We can't always judge a book by its cover. So this week, not only does it provide you that opportunity to start to create and work on meaningful aspects, along the way, we're going to start to heal ourselves. Like I said, sometimes when we are focused in on something life-giving, that healing, it occurs naturally. So let's get into this week a little bit more. Let's see what this week offers us. We know at the beginning of the week, we have the full worm moon rising on Sunday night. So that healing can occur simultaneously as we start to work on that foundation. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the beginning of the week? Now, like I said in the introduction, if you haven't seen the video I brought out for the full worm moon, I'd encourage you to go check it out, because this is a fantastic full moon that's going to really help with that foundation. And a little bit of movement for you guys. So the beginning of the week, as we engage in and embrace that full moon, divine feminine energy, we are going to be inspired. It's going to help to kindle that flame, that growth. I know it sounds really hokey and kind of cliche. Well, sure, the full moon's going to rejuvenate me. It's got that divine feminine energy. And how the heck do you actually engage with said energy? It's not as hard as you think. Just acknowledging it and engaging in activities that are life-giving for you. We're not avoiding it. We're not hyper-focusing in on the future, on what we think we may want, nor are we getting caught up in the past, in that pain and heartache. We're focusing in on the here and now. That shift in perspective helps us to engage with what's happening. Those elements, those messages, those repeated patterns helps us be here for us and those opportunities that I just mentioned. When we're living in and functioning from a present modality, we have that opportunity to, engage with what's right at hand. We're living in the moment. We're living in that energy. Now, if you really want to engage with that amazing full moon energy, you can set that intention. Healing is an important part of why we're here. So if you really want to engage and be very conscious with that engagement, ask for it. Before you go to sleep, especially, you can do it on Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We have that ability till the middle of the week to engage with this amazing natural phenomenon. You can ask that high vibrational divine feminine energy come in while you're sleeping to support you in your healing. Doesn't have to be more complicated than that. I would just add that if you're asking for that support, you might as well put in that catch-all statement of and any high vibrational beings for my greater good. Come in and support me while I sleep. When you open up to the healing and support of the high vibration, whether it be the divine feminine, angels, dragons, fairies, what have you, you're opening yourself up to so much support. So, my theory, don't limit. Ask for all, because you never know what you're going to need and what's for your greater good. Being intentional and being mindful are going to be important elements that keep coming up in this week. Because when you're intentional and you're mindful, well, you're in the here and now. And that is another important element, not only of this week, but of this journey. So, we are going to get a lot of those aha moments, that insight, that invigoration. And like I said, asking for that help supports us in gaining that insight. Additionally, being mindful and present helps us to receive those messages that help guide where it is we're going, that help you understand what you need to put in that amazing cauldron of yours. Because we don't have all the answers. We were never meant to. We need that added support, that added guidance from the high vibrational beings. Now, one of the ways that I can support you in gaining more guidance on that direction, that connection into those aha moments, is through a meditation that I did with Archangel Christiel. It's a fantastic meditation where we collaborated to help give you guidance and understanding of your direction forward. And what's more is that Archangel Christiel is connected into that lunar energy, that divine feminine energy. It's really a win-win situation. Not only are you connecting in very intentionally to that divine feminine, but you're gaining added insight and aha on where to go. Now, if you're new to my channel and aren't too sure about this meditation I just talked about, I do have two meditative playlists. The first is Healing with the Archangels, which is where you're going to find that meditation I just mentioned with Archangel Christiel. The second is a Just You and Me series, where it's just you and me, working on a skill or a tool that's going to support you. Now, all my meditations, they're about 30 minutes long. They're a guided meditation, and most importantly, they're free for you to visit and revisit as you need, supporting you in the here and now. We need tools. We need a lot of different tools to support us. So, knowing that there are a lot of different tools out there, it's up to us to pick which ones suit us right now, because it will change. So the middle of the week, connecting in, really getting that invigoration, and in some cases, that understanding on where you're going. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the middle of the week? The Six of Cups. As we head through the week, we're getting closer to that Easter long weekend. We're going to start to reminisce. And that's okay. That can actually invigorate us and rejuvenate us. Remember that crazy time that you ate your entire Easter basket in less than an hour or whatever. But we can't get caught up in that past. That is a tactic of your ego and low vibrational self. Getting caught up in the past and not being present for what's occurring right here and right now. If we're not present, we can't tend to what it is we're trying to do. Things will boil over and burn. We need to be present. Like I said, we can go back and just remember that, good old time or that laugh, especially as we start to connect in with family and friends, because that connection is important as well. it too will bring in that rejuvenation. However, like I said, we have to be mindful of that. We don't want to get caught up in that feeling, in those good old days, because we're going to miss out. Sixes in tarot are about balance and harmony. And that balance, it's going to be an essential key to maintaining that invigoration and getting yourself moving forward into the matter at hand. So the middle of the week, you bet. Revisit, have a laugh, enjoy. But balance it out with what you need to do in your physical world and what it is that's going to feed that spiritual self, that soul's deeper purpose. Life is truly a juggling act. It's not black and white. There's so many balls in play that we do need to really be mindful and intentional as to where our energies go. So let's head off to the end of the week. What does the end of the week bring, my rose quartz friends? The Chariot, the 7th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that movement forward. The Chariot talks about using your willpower and your determination to drive you forward. And that's very true. Because like I said, we're going to be easily sidetracked. We need to stay true to our course. We have 2 movement cards, which means we have that ability to make some choices for our greater good. That's going to help shift us out of some of this rut we're finding ourselves in and bringing in a lot more fulfillment, joy, and abundance. However, like I said before, it's up to us. We have to be the ones who do this. Now we do have an interesting effect going on. We have 6, 7, 8. Be aware of what we're talking about is not diving forward head first. It is very slow and determined steps. We don't have 6, 7, 8. We have 6, 7, 8. We need to be very mindful and conscious of what we're doing. We don't want to push ourselves too fast, too hard, because what happens is, well, our ego comes in, derails us, and claws us backwards, causing more fear and more stagnation. We need to take this time and use it wisely, invigorating us, getting us motivated, starting to put that one foot in front of the other, all the while remembering we have that ability to heal ourselves. And we need that. That's part of our movement forward. That's why we have the cauldron here. I said it's kind of a weird card to get, but we're putting so many different elements into play this week. We needed something to catch it all. Help to bring it all together, to incorporate it for us. Make it meaningful for us. So the end of the week, we will be able to engage in some movement forward. It may not be fast movement, but you've got your steeds in the right direction, and you can push them forward slowly and steadily, because slow, steady change is a lot more stable than those leaps and bounds, because you take 1 step forward and 12 back when you do those leaps and bounds. So be mindful of that. But the end of the week, we are going to see that inner flame come forward, using our willpower, our courage to drive ourselves forward, to push past that fear and that heartache, helping us to really engage with what's important. So This week offers you a lot of opportunity to embrace these possibilities. Embrace these energies that this week is offering you. Now, let's look at the challenge. We know that your ego is going to be a bit of a bear because it's going to start to try and redirect us, even in the middle of the week. But let's look at what other challenges you're going to face. What challenges will my rose quartz friends face for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? Now, I should mention also that balance is going to be an important part of the end of the week. We are going to be needing to balance things out, balance ourselves out. We've got a lot of divine feminine at the beginning. Well, we need to bring forward some masculine to help to balance us. The more balanced we are, the more we're going to be able to maintain and sustain that energy and embrace the shifts and the opportunities that this week offers us. Now, one of the ways I can support you with that balance is through a meditation that I did with Archangel Cassiel, where we focused in on that balance, helping to release some of those barriers you have to balance, healing it, and then empowering you to maintain that balance. It's a fantastic meditation. Oh, that's not surprising. Three of Swords. That heartache, that pain. Like I said, this weekend can impact us if we allow it. In the Catharsis card, it says that the solution may be emotional rather than logical. We have to be mindful of that emotion. Sure, we want that emotion, that connection, that passion, but we don't want the heartache. We do need to be very selective with our direction, selective with our choices. A little bit of this and that will help. However, if that pain, that sadness starts to come forward, well, we need to make some choices again for our greater good. This does not serve us. That heartache, that pain, it slows us down. We need to make some choices on how to heal ourselves. Another meditation that can help with that pain is one I did with Archangel Metatron, where we released that heartache and pain, opening ourselves up to new and high vibrational aspects. This pain is just taking up space within us. Think of it as having a cup within you. There's only so much it can hold before it overflows, and you start to feel overwhelmed and burdened. However, if we dive down to the bottom and remove some of that gunky heaviness, you remove a lot of gunkiness, a lot of space within yourself, which can be filled with those life-giving aspects rather than those life-depleting aspects. So choices, intention, they're going to be key elements. Key elements in this week and weeks to come. Many of us have been on autopilot and we've been missing out. It's time to turn off the autopilot and engage with what's happening in the here and now. So, we know that heartache and pain is going to be a challenge. Let's look at what other supports we can help to overcome some of these challenges. What blessings can my rose quartz friends embrace for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? The Veil Walker. Sounds creepy, but it really isn't. The veil is the barrier between us and those passed on individuals. There are many barriers that are all around us, and we don't see them because they're energetical. We don't have to acknowledge them. They're not something we have to pay attention to. What the veil walker is encouraging you to do is to go up to some of these veils, connect in to some of these high vibrational supports. We need to be mindful, guys. Not all beings and spirits are there for our greater good. Some are malicious and some are vindictive. Be very mindful of that as you start to work with your intuition and you're opening yourself up to these energies. I always encourage people, especially as they're doing energetical work, to call on Archangel Michael. It's as simple as uttering his name or thinking about him. He can come in and protect you. He's here with me all the time when I decide to do high vibrational work. And as he's an omnipresent being, he can be with you and me at the same time. It's always good to vet what you're doing by saying, are you here for my greater good? And have you been approved and cleared by Archangel Michael? And I can guarantee you, if they're up to no good, that statement in itself not only brings Archangel Michael to you, but has a tendency to dissipate those beings that aren't there for your greater good. That said, we do want to take some time and connect in with the beings that are going to support us. We want to go to those veils and connect in, using our intuition, using our clairs to support us in gaining added insight, added direction. Now, last year in October, I brought out a series of 3 meditations that support you in connecting in with your high vibrational support team, which include a lot of high vibrational beings in a variety of denominations. These meditations help you to go to the veil in a high vibrational way that will help you reconnect with some beings that have been there for you, some since conception. So, taking some time and participating in something like that can help you gain guidance and strengthen your skills, helping to add other elements to that amazing cauldron. Be such a pretty card and so important. We need to be working hard for self and getting the job done. We need to be that busy little bee this week. I know there's lots going on, probably a lot of family commitments, lots of expectations. Being mindful and intentional with time and energy will support you in getting a lot more done and having that added time to enjoy it as well. So that work, it needs to get done, and you're the only one who can do it. That said, this work I'm talking about is work for you. We have to be mindful that other people don't just keep adding to our plate, causing us to feel overwhelmed and taxed. We don't want to burn ourselves out. It's okay to say the word, no, I'm not able to do this for you. Of course, you want to say it nicely, but we can't do everything for everybody. We have to be mindful of what it is we're trying to do and what other people are trying to push on us. Again, it goes back to that balance. So let's look at the final aspect here. I'm going to end off with any further insight, wisdom, and guidance that I can share with my rose quartz friends for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd. The Ace of Pentacles. We have that ability to plant some amazing seeds and see some amazing growth should we take that time and get some work done. Taking time for self can be incredibly challenging. However, it can be incredibly rewarding. A little bit of work can go a long way in not only restoring us and rejuvenating us, but also reaping the rewards of the universe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, when we do engage in this work and we start taking time for self, the universe rewards us with that abundance, prosperity, and added help that we need. So, taking that time, working on self, tending to self will go a long way. Now, the Ace of Pentacles also reminds us of the importance of grounding. Many of us are functioning from an unstable foundation. We're not grounded. We are trying to achieve great tasks and getting work done, yet we're doing it from a very unstable space. Think of it as trying to juggle balls while balancing on the back of a chair. Should you get off of the chair and stand or sit on the ground, you're more stable. You're more able to juggle those balls with more certainty. And that's exactly what grounding is about. I have grounding meditations on both my playlists that can support you in creating that grounded foundation within self. And then you can take it one step further, using crystals to your advantage to maintain that grounded energy. Now, of course, the crystals that you're looking for are any black or red crystal. They resonate with your root chakra. So something like tiger iron or black obsidian are great choices in maintaining that groundedness, that stability that we need. The Five of Wands. Fives in tarot are very challenging because that's what they are. They're a challenge card. It doesn't matter what suit you're in. They challenge us. The Five of Wands talks about that inner battle within. We're not the kindest to self. We actually like to beat ourselves up a lot. We need to be mindful of that because this battle adds to this heartache. One of the ways I can support you in minimizing some of this inner conflict and negative self-talk is through a meditation I did with Archangel Raguel, where we balanced out your thoughts and beliefs of self. It does go a long way in quieting this kind of chaotic energy, helping you to make decisions and create solutions that would be for your greater good, rather than adding to more heartache, more pain. The more we're intentional with self, time, and energy, the more we're going to get out of our day, out of our experience. The Ten of Wands. I touched on it a little bit here with the bee. We have to be mindful of what we're trying to achieve. There's only so much time in a day. There's only so much energy that we have. We can't be all for everybody. We need to work smarter and more efficiently rather than just flat out. So being mindful of what you're trying to achieve, and if you're trying to do things for other people, that's a balance. They may need to do things that they don't want to do, but it's part of their journey, their experience, and they're just pushing it off onto you. So reflect in. What is it that you're doing in a day? What do you really need to do? And what do people need to take back? Take ownership and take pride in achieving in their own lifetime. This is your journey. So we do need to make some choices that may feel a little bit cruel, that we're asking people to take stuff back, because really it's theirs and they have the ability to do what they need to do, however, are avoiding it. So that balance, it's a fine point. However, when you start to give back some of the burden to others. And this isn't just, again, us trying to slack off. It's us trying to empower them to get their stuff done rather than you try to do their stuff plus your stuff. You want to enjoy this time. You want to gain meaning and fulfillment out of what you're doing. Not only are they missing out on their meaning and fulfillment, you're missing out on some of yours. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week holds for my rose quartz friends. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps me be found on the sea of YouTube, which supports us collectively, starting to raise our vibration and getting ourselves unstuck. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more coming your way, and you don't want to miss any of it. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, healing, and education is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And also, if you did enjoy this video and want to support me making more, I do have a Patreon page. I have provided a link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my rose quartz friends. Hello and welcome, my Healerite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week has in store for my Healerite friends. What can my Healerite friends expect from the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? Is it me, or is it crazy that we're heading into April already? Sickle. Creepy card to get, but really important. Of course, the sickle is that old school harvesting tool. It's time to get to work here, guys. Harvesting some of those abundances, bringing things to the forefront, and of course, releasing those things that are not serving us. Like I said in the introduction, we have that ability to connect into the full worm moon at the beginning of the week. As, well, on Sunday night, the full moon is going to rise. We can use this very foundational energy to our advantage to start to cultivate what we need, release what we don't need. The most important aspect, of course, is going to be getting the work done. It's up to you to set those intentions, to give yourself permission, energy, time to do it. No one else can do it for you. So we have some opportunity to really get some work done this week. Like I said, though, it's up to us to actually get this work done. So we know it's a work week. Let's get into this a little bit more and see what else we can offer to this work week. What should my Healerite friends focus in on, this week? I love this deck. I wish it was a little bit bigger because it is a bit of a pain to shuffle. How appropriate. Permission. The yes you seek is inside of you. Be willing to seek the pathway to your dreams. Picture the gratitude of your future self for taking the leap. Now, I'm not a big person on leaps and bounds. I prefer the very mindful, stable approach. However, that permission, that pathway, absolutely. Like I said, it's up to us. We need to support ourselves in succeeding. There is no fairy godmother. No one's going to bibbity bobbity boo what we want. Sure, we can manifest. That's a big piece, guys. we can manifest. We can ask for that support. And yes, the universe will grant us added abundance and prosperity as a reward for our work. But again, a reward for our work. So it's up to us. I know some of us would really like a lot of added support here and there. We would love that fairy godmother. But let's be honest, that's not what we signed up for. We signed up for an experience and to learn. And both of those mean getting our hands dirty. So let's look at this week. What work can we get done? What can my Healerite friends expect from the beginning of the week? Oh, it's a good card. Ooh, the Queen of Cups. That divine feminine energy, it's all around you. That intuitive lunar energy, it's right there. The Queen of Cups, of course, being the second most intuitive card in the deck. We have that ability to connect into our intuition, our high vibrational support team, and get some answers and direction that's going to support us, helping to see what aspects we need to cultivate, what we need to release, and how we can go forward. And not just forward to go for forward's sake, but in that very meaningful and fulfilling way. Of course, that sounds all great and grand. How the heck do you do it? How do you connect into your intuition? How do you gain that guidance? If we're all able to do it, I wouldn't need to do this. So, I can help you out. I do have a meditation with Archangel Christiel where we connected in together, we collaborated, and we worked on that pathway forward. Now, Archangel Christiel is a fantastic archangel that is connected to that divine feminine lunar energy. So, it is not a surprise to see that she's an important meditation to do, especially with the full warm moon coming in on Sunday night. And of course, if you haven't watched that video, I would highly encourage you to watch that video, as the full warm moon is going to really support us with that foundation. And that's exactly what we need right now. So if you're new to my channel and aren't too sure about this meditation and what the heck I'm talking about, I have two meditative playlists. One is Healing with the Archangels, where of course you're going to find that fantastic meditation with Archangel Christiel. And the second playlist is a Just You and Me playlist, where it's just you and me. We sit down together and we work on a skill or a tool that will support you. Now, all my meditations are about 30 minutes long. They are a guided meditation. And most importantly, they're free for you to visit and revisit as you need. We need tools. It's very clear that we need those tools. We've always had them. We need to use them now more than ever to get the work done that's going to support us. And meditation is a fantastic tool to help us to not only ground ourselves, to calm that inner system, to gain clarity and insight from the high vibrational beings. That's why I enjoy it so much. And I also make sure of that time. We have only so much time in a day. We've got a lot of demand on us. So that's why my meditations are about 30 minutes long. They're easy to put in here and there as you need. So the beginning of the week, we can gain that guidance, that understanding, and that compassion and nurturing. Because of course, when we take that 30 minutes for self, you're nurturing you. You're nurturing your growth. It's really a win-win situation. So we know what we need to do at the beginning of the week. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my Healerite friends expect from the middle of the week. Oh, yeah. The Ace of Pentacles. But up against that Queen, we are so looking at amazing growth. Emerging aspects coming forward. As we start to focus in on what we need to do, we start to get some of that work done. We start to release those pieces that aren't serving us. We leave ourselves open to that growth. Think of it as a garden. If you take away the weeds, what do you have left? You have space and the ability to grow what you need, whether it be beautiful flowers or vegetables and fruit. It's really an individual choice. Well, the same is true for you. These emerging aspects are going to come forward. You don't know what amazing seeds you've been planting throughout the days, weeks, and years. Taking that time for you, nurturing you, will go a long way in bringing forward some amazing opportunities and possibilities, because we are starting to focus in more on life-giving aspects than those aspects that cause stagnation, fear, and heartache. We get out of this rut that we've been in, and we get into some amazing, amazing fulfillment and joy. So the middle of the week, you are going to see yourself having a bit of a shift. Those aha moments, things are going to start to fall into place, especially as you work on things. Like I said, the universe likes to reward us, and that reward will become very evident. So we know this work is really important. We know we're going to be rewarded and things are going to start to slide into place in the middle of the week. Let's go on to the end of the week. What can my Healerite friends expect from the end of the week? Now, something that I should say, when we're doing a lot of spiritual work or intuitional work and we're getting busy, we're focusing in on different aspects that we hadn't focused in on before, we can feel a little bit wobbly. Things get a little bit overwhelming and we feel unsure. What I would suggest is that you ground yourself. Grounding gives you that stability to gain further guidance, and it really does set us up for some amazing, amazing growth. I do have a fantastic simple meditation in my Just You and Me series where we do look at that grounding. A lot of us are not grounded properly, and we kind of feel like we're chasing our tails because of it. When we have that grounded energy, we're more able to make high vibrational choices for our greater good rather than being caught up in that reaction. So having that grounded foundation really goes a long way in supporting what you want. Oh, yes, please. The Queen of Wands. Oh, how I love my queens. Especially that wand. She has that sass and that inner flair. Like I said in the introduction, the weekend may or may not impact you. Well, I can tell you, if you are engaging with that high vibrational energy, that guidance, and you're focused in on some of these emerging aspects, these amazing abundances, you are going to be caught up into that passion and that fulfillment. The weekend is going to be fantastic because you're going to be fueled and you're going to be more excited and engaged with your day, with your experience. The Queen of Wands talks about owning self. She has that sass and flair. We have it. Should we allow ourselves to? Again, going back to that permission. The Queen of Wands talks about connecting into our passions, into our creativity. And you'll find, no matter what your creativity is, and no, you don't have to be into arts and crafts to be creative. Creative is just expressing self in a meaningful way. So you have that passion and creativity. Well, what's more, her sister here has the intuitive side of creativity, that intuitional creativity. This is the yin and yang of creativity. And what is it doing? It's sandwiching the Ace of Pentacles, which is that new beginning. So the more you're connected into self, that high vibrational creativity, the more you're going to, yield. The abundance, those prospects and possibilities are going to flourish. What's more, you're going to have more joy and happiness because you have that engagement, that passion that's lighting your way. Now, of course, we do have the double queens. Queens in the tarot deck, they're the 13th card in the minor arcana. When you have that multiple 13, the angels are encouraging you to quiet your mind so that you're able to gain that intuitive insight that's going to support you. Again, that intuition. It's an important element. And I know it's an element that many of us struggle with because, it's something that we've shut down. And of course, we had to shut it down. It wasn't like we're like, oh, this might be fun. It was usually down to fear. Taking that deep breath, giving yourself permission, giving yourself some time, and connecting back into that intuitive ability. We all have it. Some, of course, we may have a bit of a more affinity for it. It's just like any other skill. Some people just naturally have that ability or have taken years to hone their skill. I've been reading tarot for over 20 years. So I have been working on that skill. Taking some time and working on this skill will support you in strengthening it. I do have another meditation that I can suggest for you. I worked with Archangel Raziel last year, and we created a meditation where we worked on your intuitive abilities, helping to strengthen your abilities and help to reduce some of those barriers we have with using our abilities. So again, setting some intention, giving yourself a little bit of time here and there will go a long way in seeing some amazing growth. So, fantastic week full of sass and flair. Let's look at the challenge, because if every week was this easy, of course we have the work, and work is work, but if it was this easy, we would be leaps and bounds ahead of ourselves. And I should mention, guys, this work, we're not looking at literally going into a field and plowing it. We're looking at spending time with self, having a little bit of fun, because that fun is important too. Those meditations, you shouldn't dread them. They should make you feel better. And when we feel better, we feel stronger. We're more able to do some different stuff. Connecting into our intuition. I'm not asking you to sit and try and bend spoons with your mind. Connect in, do a different meditation. Take some time for you. Work with your high vibrational support team. Work with the high vibrational beings. There are different opportunities and pieces that you can try. And most importantly, we're looking at that creativity. Giving yourself some permission and time to, be creative. And whatever that creativity looks like for you, it doesn't have to be hours and days. A little bit of time here and there goes a long way. But let's look at what's going to give us a bit of a run for our money. What challenge will my Healerite friends face for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? You guys are going for the queen-tastic work here? The Queen of Pentacles. Oh, how funny. I love it when this happens, when we have so many of the same number, or here we're having a lot of court cards. So, the Queen of Pentacles, of course, we're looking at that grounded, nurturing, Mother Earth energy. We are going to feel very disconnected. We're going to feel really wobbly and uncertain. Like I said back here at the Ace of Pentacles, that grounding will go a long way in strengthening that foundation. Additionally, the Queen of Pentacles talks about that belief that we are worthy or need this. Our ego will play a part in this, where we're going to start to negatively talk about ourselves, or minimizing or limiting our belief about what we need or what we deserve. That time for self, that time for creativity. Like I said, our ego is going to play up in here. It's going to challenge us on how this is valuable, how this will support us. Why are we wasting our time and our energy on something that we almost in some cases fear, or we put down to, oh, it's a fun hobby? Sure, it's a fun hobby, but it gives you fulfillment and joy. It brings in that happiness. So, what we need to do is start to combat some of that negativity with a little bit of love for self. Knowing that the Queen of Pentacles is going to be our challenge, we can put strategies in play that is going to help us to, well, combat it. Combat that instability. So grounding. Using grounding meditations to support us in that foundation. Using crystals. Any crystal that is red or black and resonates with your root chakra. Something like tiger iron or black obsidian will support you in maintaining that grounded stability. Additionally, when we start to negatively talk about self, or we're really challenging ourselves on how this is important, I have another meditation that can support you. It's one with Archangel Raguel, where we start to balance our thoughts and beliefs about self. That way you're taking time for you, challenging you in a high vibrational way, rather than kind of turtling and reclusing ourselves and avoiding, because that's our common response. We need to use our head to overpower our ego right now. We have some great possibility for growth this week, and our ego will bash us back as much as it can. So we need to be very mindful of that. Set some intentions, and of course, we need to see that pathway forward. Permission, as hokey as it sounds, is an essential key to unlocking what this week can offer you. All right, let's see what other things we can support you with this week. Let's go on to some blessings. What blessing, whoa, can my Healerite friends, whoa, embrace for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd? I love it when the cards get excited like that. It's fun. It's just not so fun if it goes under the table. Briar. We have to be mindful of the prickly thorns. Like I said in the beginning, we have that ability to release stuff that isn't working. Those prickles, those hurts, those fears. It's up to us, though, to start to, well, use our tools and make some decisions for our greater good. One of the ways that we can start to limit and minimize those prickles and those pains is through a meditation that I did with Archangel Metatron, where we're releasing that pain. Because a lot of the growth that could be there isn't there because we're so stagnant and stuck and caught up on that pain. That pain is very valid. However, it's not serving us. We need to move forward rather than getting caught up in the prickles and the thorns. There's a dragonfly here among all the thorns and the pains and prickles. A dragonfly symbolizes that transformation, that self-realization. And that's very much what we're looking at this week. It kind of sums up what we're trying to do. We're trying to release and remove, using our sickle, getting rid of those stuff that isn't working and embracing that transformation. In the permission card, it talks about that leap. This isn't about leap. This is about stability and shifting perspective and shifting what is and is not working. What a beautiful card. The Reconciler. Such a pretty card. So of course a Reconciler brings in peace and harmony. And that's what we're looking at doing this week, is bringing in that harmony into self, that peace. Because when we're focusing in on what is going right, those aspects and pieces that bring us joy and fulfillment, and we're not harboring on aspects that bring us sadness and fear, we're not focusing in on those prickles, we are creating peace within ourselves. And that peace, that harmony, it's going to go a long way in feeding and fueling us. Now, I do have a meditation that can connect into this peace and harmony within. It's one I did last year with Archangel Sandalphon. And that's exactly what we looked at. That harmony and that balance within. It's going to be an element that will keep coming up throughout your journey. Because the more balanced and harmonious we are, well, the more open we are to these opportunities. It's really something that would support, well, us as a species, is being able to allocate more time to balancing out and bringing in that peace and harmony within self, within our communities, and within that global sense. We always don't have to be right. But if we came from that space of love and light, well, it would go a long way in overcoming many of the challenges we're facing. Now, of course, the Reconciler does have that full moon energy, which connects us back to that full moon here, that time for self, creating that peace within self. So this is a fantastic week for you guys. I'm going to end off on any further insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my Healerite friends for the week of March 28th through to April 3rd. I kind of like how the Reconciler is mirroring what the Queen of Cups is doing. They're both holding up their cups and kind of basking in that wonder and that joy. And we kind of need to focus in on that. Like I said, we need that joy and happiness. It really does fuel us. I love this card. The Page of Cups. And I enjoy the fact that when you have a rendition of this page, when they have that cup with the fish, it's a quintessential symbol of the Page of Cups. It's that symbol of flexibility and, of course, creativity. We need both of them this week. We need to be more flexible with our expectations, our demands, and our beliefs of that outcome. Some of what we're dealing with and I know it's based in very systemic cultural and societal norms, isn't working for us. When we take the time to reflect in on, well, what parts are working and what parts aren't, we're able to shift out of some of those pieces that aren't working and have that flexibility and creativity to nurture those aspects that are. This is why I don't like leaps and bounds. I prefer that very mindful and sustainable shift that is based in that very stable energy. We don't feel like we're going to fall over, or we don't feel like this is an unsure move. These are little shifts that go a long way in making that change that you're looking for. It's based in stability. Your ego doesn't have the ability to cause uncertainty, cause fear, and regression. So the Page of Cups also reminds us and amplifies that need for the fun and play. We are heading into the Easter long weekend. We need to be, well, a little bit of a kid and have some fun. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy this time. This experience, well, it's yours. We need to have a little bit more fun and a lot more enjoyment. Oh yeah, this isn't surprising. The Five of Swords. That pain, that heartache, it's here. Like I said, our ego is not going to lay idly by and allow shifting and changing to occur. It's going to try and stop you, try and slow down any progression and any shifting through that heartache, that pain, that fear. There's a lot of different still going on, and we're not a good species when we're dealing with different or change. We like what we like, and when it doesn't happen the way we like, we get sad and angry. This weekend, for many of us, isn't going to be that typical long weekend. We need to be mindful of how we react and what energies we're projecting. So if we get sad and angry because it's not that typical Easter long weekend, well, guess what? It's going to come back at us. The law of karma will play a role in what happens. However, if we take that deep breath and calmly say, okay, it's not the same. However, with some creativity and permission, I'm going to create a weekend that is meaningful and fulfilling for me and my family and my friends. It may be different, but different's okay sometimes. So, that heartache and pain, we need to be mindful of it. Finally, the King of Cups. Adding some masculinity to a lot of femininity. That's okay. We've got that divine feminine energy, and we're going to use it to our advantage. Now, interestingly enough, we have the King of Cups, and we started off with the Queen of Cups. We have that yin and yang of that emotional and intuitional energy. We need to be mindful of that. Like I said, that intuition, that's an important element this week. But that emotion can get the better of us. The King of Cups has the most control over his emotion. It doesn't matter what the sea is doing around him. He has that very stable, very powerful control. Like I said, not even a minute ago, we do need to be mindful of that. We need to make choices for our greater good. We don't want to be on an emotional roller coaster, as that in itself will take away from those opportunities that are being offered to you. There's very few things we can take control of. and taking control of our emotional response is a fantastic one. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is going to offer my Healerite friends. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps me be found on the sea of YouTube, which supports us collectively, starting to raise our vibration and getting ourselves unstuck. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more coming your way, and you don't want to miss any of it. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, healing, and education is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And also, if you did enjoy this video and want to support me making more, I do have a Patreon page. I have provided a link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Healerite friends,